Jay brought it up.
The R-Truth stuff. Let's talk about that. He got injured doing a front flip dive over to the top.
I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, we don't even really officially. You don't know what that move was. It never completed.
Oh,
whatever it was.
I mean,
well, it did. That's he hit the floor.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't
All
know.
Good
actually.
things come to an end, Craig.
I actually don't know what the actual.
I'll tell you what the actual
reported injury was.
You drag R-Truth out of the fucking closet after 10 years of not wrestling ever. He just says funny stuff, and you make him wrestle 3 times in a week. That's why he got hurt. That's what happened.
Yeah,
well,
you put him down in the developmental.
51 years old. Like, come on.
You put him down in the developmental territory where they wrestle.
Yeah, that was his fault for doing that.
I could do this.
He shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, his feet caught the ropes. It's R-Truth's fault completely, wasn't he? He didn't get caught.
He shouldn't have done that move.
He came up short.
Who was trying to catch him? I felt so bad.
Grayson Waller.
Like, who?
Grayson Waller from
Grayson Waller, because he was like,
which is good.
Then he tried. And he's like, he was going to nowhere to go.
Right.
I like Grayson Waller. He's going to be. I think he's going to be.
I do too. Actually, he does everything he's asked to do. Like he's pretty good.
He can't catch legends, but I mean, it's fine.
He can't catch
you
legends.
can tell too. Like he kind of like tapped R-Truth's leg. Like he tapped like to make sure if he was okay.
You all right, buddy? All right. Rub some dirt on it. Get up.
Actually, I didn't see it. Did R-Truth finish the match?
No, they stopped it.
No,
they called it.
Oh, big ol' X. That sucks.
Yeah, big X. Yeah.
Ah,
I mean, they still made an official decision like as far as Grayson Waller won the match because of that. But yeah, so I like when they do that when they actually make it like a real sport. When they actually do stuff.
I like it when they really hurt themselves, so they have to end the match.
When they actually, it's like UFC. It should be. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
They'd have a great time if they just did a bunch of stuff with Truth hurt in the back, like just do a bunch of promos.
Now that's all he's going to do.
I
hope
so. Like
I hope
he thinks he has to start all over in developmental, and he's just like showing up to NXT.
That would be fucking funny.
That's a great idea. Starting from 0.
Build up to him and Grayson Waller. That would be awesome.
Speaking of doing stuff like
promo
all over
school
again and starting over, why are they not promoting Boogs right now on all of his Instagram stuff? It's great.
He's great. He's always been great.
Oh, he's always so awesome, funny. Man. Like, what did he say? Boogs? Like he was screaming on the squat rack. Like, you can't do this at your Planet Shitness. I'm like, that is fucking so good.
Good, because Planet Fitness.
Yeah. Just we
won't even go on that side tangent, but yeah, we're about to go on a Planet Fitness tangent here.
No, don't do that. But
I also did a this day in history is we can go back in the past a little bit here. On this day in 1996, Brian Pillman pulled a gun out on Stone Cold Steve Austin. You want to talk about real life in wrestling?
He killed him.
That was real. That was not scripted. Yeah,
he killed
Stone Cold.
He killed him.
Murdered.
I have to freely admit, though, I remember.
I
can look back on it and appreciate like what they were trying to do in the sense of like it changed everything. I remember hating it when it first happened because it was just so weird. Yeah. And I'm not a big fan of like. It's odd when you take wrestlers out of their element, which is like the ring and the arena. I'm not even a big fan of a lot of backstage skits because, like, if it's not done right, not everything could be Hogan and Savage in the hospital, and even that was hokey. When Elizabeth was in the back in the hospital bed or whatever. But and even that was kind of hokey. It's just weird when you take wrestlers out of their element. So to see like see Stone Cold like come through the window or whatever, he's like, "I'm coming in your house," and there's a full camera crew in the house. It's ridiculous. It's all ridiculous.
Well, can you imagine like if in UFC when like Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz were feuding with each other, and Chuck Liddell just shows up at Tito Ortiz's house, shows up with the gun, like pointed at Chuck Liddell, and then
the whole premise to sit on what I just said. The whole premise was they had the whole camera crew there to interview Pillman, right? Like that was why they were there.
So
and then they kept getting reports from Live at Raw that Stone Cold's on his way, and it's just ridiculous. I never liked the gun thing. It's weird because where are you going to go from there? And like it's just all
was he really going to shoot him?
But they were really trying to do edgy stuff, and Austin had already done the King of the Ring promo, and the loose cannon Brian Pillman. They were trying to find because he had already been in the accident, right? Or was that early '97 that he shattered his ankle in the Humvee? I don't remember.
I think it was before that.
No, I think he was injured before he came over.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Or right as.
Yeah, he was. Right?
Was it? I thought it was during the WWF that he got injured. Maybe I'm wrong. I
actually don't remember.
No, you're right, Craig. I think you're right because I remember they signed him. He got injured and then he debuted. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because he was in ECW, right? Still when he got injured.
Yeah, but I remember they had a press conference when they. Yeah, they had a press conference when they signed him. I remember the press conference, and then
I'll be fine. The hack is fine. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
And then I think he got into an accident before he actually debuted. Get him a fucking house.
Get out of my fucking house, Steve.
I was a Bengal.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He was, huh?
He had the trunks to prove it.
About that.
Yeah.
Surprised you don't remember.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's when Stone Cold still had young Stone Cold. Hey, Brian Pillman, I'm coming to get you, kid.
A lot of he had a young voice.
Hey.
I'm coming inside, Brian. It's like, what the fuck?
That was very Cartman.
So let's
Hey guys,
you will respect my authority, Pillman.
And Big Bone, you guys, let me in.
Because bring us back to the recent. Who's coming back? And how do they get to come back after pulling this stuff so many times? What the hell is going on?
Oh, are we talking about Sasha?
Sasha coming back for like a third time after
That
like
it has to be her. It has to be her.
Wait, what's happening now? I don't know. What's the hit?
How do you know
sorry,
it's
it
her?
has to be her. It has to be her that she's coming back to WWE because everyone's like, oh, she's saying because how she said it's a date is coming up that she's been waiting for the last 6 months for.
She's doing
And
someone's
everyone's-
birthday party. Get out of here for 30.
I know. Watch, yeah.
For 30. Was
She
it how
changed her
much
hair,
was it?
she's-
$30,000 for a show up fee or something?
right?
Yeah.
It'd be like
And then you can't even-
GCW
And you have to
Return
stand
of
about
Razor
100 feet
Blades.
away.
I'm gonna be there.
That would be fucking funny actually if she did show up for GCW. Starts blading and everything. Like, no, Sasha,
Just
what are you doing?
light tubes.
You're supposed to come back
What
tomorrow, Sasha.
The only thing I will say though is that
You bitch.
is if she does come back, it's going to be a little irritating because I feel like she just gets to throw a hissy fit and take 4 months off and then or 6 months and then come back. This is like the third time.
Her
She'll come back.
her entitlement shows, man. Even in that Instagram video, like this, like fake, like respect for her fans and like
Titties
that
look
nose
nice,
ring.
though.
She's like, I've been
Your
waiting for
titties got
so
bigger.
long.
Oh,
I was just
my
like,
God.
I've lost a lot
she
of
looks-
luster.
yeah, a lot of people.
She's still great, but
You know what
whatever.
though? I will say though, yeah, because that she used to be one of my main crushes on wrestling as far as current and
all right.
yeah, ever since hearing about I was gonna say ever since hearing about like some of the attitude stuff, I'm like, yeah, kind of I don't know. Like Craig said, the entitlement stuff. It's kind of like the Punk thing, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing almost in a
Mhm.
sense, but
Smoke there's
she didn't
fire.
punch Charlotte and Bailey or anything like that, you know. But
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what happens. You know, she carries her weight, man. She is a big name and she does draw and
She's really good in the ring.
she's good.
She's
she's
really
great.
She's
in the
excellent.
ring. She's
She's
one of my
excellent.
favorites. Like she probably is.
What are you gonna say, huh?
She's
I
good.
would say that
Hot.
the EST is better and probably draws more people.
Mm.
I would say she's more athletic. I don't know about in ring technically. I don't think
she's
so.
better at everything.
No, no, she's
Everything.
not. Athletic. She is way more athletic for sure. But she's
She's
like calling a match.
She's the EST for a
storytelling?
reason, cuz she's the biggest, the strongest, the
She's
baddest,
not the
Big
bossest.
S, strong yeah,
talentedest.
She's not the bossist.
talented
Talented
S.
All right, that's Sasha. Sasha's the bossist. All right.
I have better
She's the boss.
hair est. I don't know. I ran out of S.
I ran at the ESTs. No, trust me. They don't. I don't know.
I mean,
trust
obviously
that.
she'll
I
get a
do
big
trust that.
response. She'll get a huge pop when she comes back, if it's her. And we'll see what happens.
She'll get
after
That's
that.
where
mad
she's
and
going.
again.
Well,
She'll
that so that everyone don't know if she's talking about like
Then
maybe
she'll
they
get
did
booked to
more,
lose a match, and she'll be like, my mental health hurts. And then
Yeah, I
she'll leave.
know. Yeah.
my mental.
Yes.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, I mean,
And where
hey,
did
that's the card.
where did Naomi
That's the
land in
card,
all of this for walking out with her? Is she back in WWE? Like, is she in
No,
limbo?
she's
You
still
don't really
gone.
hear you see them hanging out like they're hanging out like publicly like in places or at the same parties or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, but nothing really much as far as like where Sasha you're hearing like she's doing these appearances. Well, actually she's been doing appearances with Sasha too, like
Yeah,
the
she was
signings
like
that whole thing where you had to stand 100 feet away from
Yeah.
Sasha like she was there too. But yeah, no really big word on I assume, right? Because she's married to Jimmy
Yeah.
and Jimmy's still there. So
Yeah.
I would think that she's going to be going
And
back
not to mention that
WWE.
that guy gets away with everything. So
No, that's wait, is it Jimmy or Jay? That's the UI.
that's who she's
You know,
married
I
to.
It's
always
her husband, whoever it is. It's her husband. That's DUI.
Her husband's with
Oh, it is. I thought it was the other
Oh,
one. I
it
thought
is
it was a
Jimmy. It is
non-married
No,
Jimmy.
one.
it was her
it
husband.
is Jimmy.
Oh.
Damn, because you know
She's
what?
been in the
Like,
car with him half the time, Craig.
I told you. She's probably more drunker than him.
that's why they separated them from working together right now. So
Please turn off
But,
the neon. Turn off the neon lights.
I was gonna say I kept thinking it was Jay because the character that Jay.
I really can't see you know that, honey, when you turn the shit on. Woo! Damn it!
Yeah.
Damn it! Damn it!
I like how they have Jay playing the hothead because I'm like that would fit. You know, if he was the one that was getting the DUIs, I don't know. I kept thinking it was him. That's pretty fucked up to say that. Actually,
He's the good, innocent one, and we're all
Yeah, I
accusing
know.
him.
Yeah.
Well, it's him. He's ruining everything.
it's Solo. He just stand there.
He's
fucking
all. I'm just
quiet.
trying to mind my business, man. I'm just not very oozy.
I know it's not on the list, but did you? Did I send you guys that thing of Sammy dancing?
Yes, to getting jiggy with it.
To
Oh,
get
yeah,
jiggy
you did.
with. Can we just talk about Sammy for a minute? Is he not living his best
Yeah.
life right now? Just not.
He's great.
He's just
great.
not
He's
oozy
great.
enough. if you're breaking the whole bloodline right there on TV live,
Yeah.
that is so much fun.
By the way, that's
so much
completely Roman's fault. That son of a bitch, because like he knew he
knew he
could
was gonna
laugh,
say it.
but he knew that he could laugh. I don't know if he knew he was going to say it. I don't think they script everything at this point anymore.
Maybe
I think
they
they're
do.
allowed. They're allowed to kind of get a little Lucy in there.
Yeah,
And so he says it, and then Roman knew he could laugh in character, and it passes off. So he did it, but then you knew he was really laughing because you could tell, and he was just like, kind of like, I know how to get out of this because I can laugh and I can make it evil, and it's all fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But then the other guys are trying to hold on, like, and what's his face in the back, Jimmy, started doing this.
That's why I kind of thought he
too.
knew it was coming because he kind of started to break before he said it. A little bit, like he almost prepared himself.
Maybe they rehearsed it. Maybe he's like, you know what, I'm gonna say that you guys are not Uzi or something. I mean, you never know. They could have rehearsed it a little bit.
And Roman couldn't even make it evil because Jay was cracking up too much.
Yeah,
Jay had kept going like this. So Roman,
and then Roman makes it worse in the best way. This is all funny and great. He makes it worse by going. So you're telling me that he's been acting like this because he's, what'd you say? Not feeling Uzi? Like, and then of course everyone breaks harder. Like,
you gotta find your inner Uzi.
It was perfect. Like, it was perfect.
Awesome. But they did a good job by not showing Solo because if they want Solo to be this menacing like enforcer guy that's always serious, they did not show him once on camera.
He's like the worst. He's all
that's probably why.
He's on
there. He said Uzi. They had a mic. Mute his mic.
No, you did. No, you did.
He's running around him. Like just running around. Stop him.
He said Uzi.
It's not that funny, Silas.
He said Uzi.
They didn't show. So they did a good job. So obviously they did that for a reason too, though. They purposely did not show him, so he may have been cracking.
I don't recall. I mean, I could be wrong. You guys could all name each individual like things right now, but I don't recall another time where anyone's broke like that. Like actors break and Saturday Night Live sketches, people break and that. But I don't remember like a wrestling skit where someone. I mean, I've heard like the infamous house show where Mick Foley and Owen Hart were hitting each other with a bag of popcorn, and Austin was laughing in the corner. Like, 'cause he put his head down and his shoulders were going up and down, but he had like his hand like this, and he was like laughing. And then when he tagged Owen tagged Austin in or whatever, and he gets in there and he's like, "You guys are the shits." Like that was so fucking funny. Because Foley was like, we just took pride in making him laugh, like in the ring. Undertaker broke a couple times on house shows, but no, I don't remember a time where on camera like that they.
There is on camera where the invasion angle when Vince had Stone Cold, Angle, Undertaker, Kane, and Jericho backstage, and Vince was doing like the pep. He's all, this is our worst, our biggest.
I forgot about those skits with
blah.
Angle in them too. Maybe you're right.
Well, Austin and Angle, you could tell they both want to break character, but Vince was doing the speech and Austin was standing there. Austin was his like comedic fucking heel already. And he kept repeating what Vince was saying. He's like, they're trying to rip us apart. And Undertaker, you could see Undertaker going like this, like looking that way. And then Austin actually hit Undertaker, and Undertaker tried to try not to laugh. And he said something that he looked at Austin. He's like, "You do that again," and I'm gonna you couldn't hear what he said, but you could tell Taker was like trying so hard. I bet Kane had under that mask. Kane had
the whole time,
fucking
even during Kane's debut in the cage, he's all like laughing. Everything he ever did, Inferno match.
So everyone's scared of me
all the time. He just breaks all the time.
Jericho, you could tell he was trying not to laugh. Like you could see a smile on Jericho's face during that segment. It was fucking great. Go back and watch that because that's fucking.
I forgot about that phase there during the invasion angle where they just did so many gold like backstage segments. Like
fucking hilarious. And then it transcended into the eventual Stone Cold and Booker T fucking skits throughout the backstage, the bingo and the grocery store and all that stuff. So it went from that to that.
Yeah.
So that's what's fucking great. A lot of good comedy in WWE. I can't believe we're saying that because it's wrestling. We're not supposed to be laughing at it. But and then CM Punk. What about Dave? What you sent us?
Do we have to talk about CM Punk again?
I know we're going back. It's on the news every week.
It's on the news.
I just thought it was funny that what was it that he said?
What hasn't he said at this point?
He's better than the dancer Kenny Omega, or
that's right, Cornette.
Cornette's
comment saying that he exposed the Harley Boys in
the Harley Boys,
Twinkle Toes, old Twinkle Toes,
Twinkle Toes, Kenny Omega,
yeah. For which I mean, like
for
I
them
said,
not drawing crowds.
I don't know if Punk necessarily went there to expose them.
Yeah,
I don't think that was
to expose them.
but he is.
No,
right
I think what he meant was
when
when Punk got there, he just he was free with his mouth and was telling them like
inadvertently exposed them is what he was
like
saying.
I guess if you're under the umbrella of one company, you can maybe say that, but at the same time, like Omega and the Young Bucks have drawn a lot of money independently because they went to New Japan and they went to like all that stuff. So like, it's just
if the biggest guy in the world walks away for 9 years and comes back, he's going to provide value and an audience to your company.
Keep going,
it's not
guys. I have to take a call. Just keep going.
Okay.
Sure. Do you think? Good, because then he would want to argue about this. But I don't know. I think as much money as they drew, like independently, you still can't. Like if you went up to some casual on the street, they're gonna say, you're gonna say, who do you know? Who do you know? Randy Orton or Kenny Omega? They'll say Randy Orton, and they probably won't know who Kenny Omega is.
Yeah.
A lot of the main.
That's
WWE. That's why.
But that's in the U.S. though. So I mean, Kenny Omega was on top for like 2 years in New Japan. I mean,
for sure,
he was drawing all over. All over Japan and the European continent. Okay, he was.
I bet if you go to India, more people will know who Randy Orton is than Kenny Omega.
That's possible because of the exposure of it. But
that's what I'm saying. Okay, Randy Orton is not just in the U.S. He's all over.
I get that, but to say that Kenny Omega hasn't drawn anything, it's not.
No, it's not even saying that. It's just saying they're limited.
If he's comparing it to AEW crowd draws, I mean, I understand.
They really are.
You could also blame a lot of that on the fact that it was new and people were just getting to know it, and
that too. But look at the ratings too, though. The only time they've really been popping now is if Punk was on it, or even like their papers, like Omega. What was it when Omega and the Bucks came back? They like it literally. I think they lost audience. Like they didn't even carry or gain, or they didn't gain a whole.
I don't even know why
more than the previous week or whatever.
I've never been a fan. I mean, I've never been a fan of those guys anyway.
But we were tiring of Punk to be kind of right before the huddle or the media scrum or whatever. He was getting a little old.
I already was.
Yep.
Just wants to talk shit. Says you're just mad because he betrayed you and left it. Like, no, it's because of what he did after WWE. The stuff the shit that he talked on pro wrestling. Because I keep going back to this, but it was an interview he had with some chick in the parking lot. I forgot for what publication, what magazine or website, whatever it was. But he acted like his shit don't stink. He acted like wrestling was beneath him. He was like, oh, that it's fake and blah blah. Because I think he thought in his mind that he was going to make a splash in the UFC, which he didn't. And I was already I was like, he's going to go there. He's not going to win his fights. He's going to fail, and then he's going to come crawling back to the sport he literally talked shit on because he thought he was going to have a career outside of wrestling, and then he's a hypocrite and he's a fake. Like that's how I felt. That's how I felt. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but just seeing it from when he left. But he talked. It's fine if he wants to talk shit on WWE, but he was actually talking shit on the sport. And I'm really, the sport that made you who you are. That's the reason that anyone even knows you, and you want to talk shit on it like it's beneath you, or like you're big, like you're better than it or something, or like the typical UFC fan. Oh, you guys watch that fake stuff, that wrestling, that fake. That's what he came off as, to me.
Yeah,
he came off as. I'm like, dude, fuck you, that sport made you what you are today. That's the only reason you're even gonna have a shot in the UFC.
I mean, a lot of people are
that was in 2014, by the way.
Now that he's done this a second time in the wrestling world, that that he
may have damaged himself.
He fooled everybody. Now people are starting to feel like
he may have damaged himself.
I got friends that are like, oh wow, you were right. CM Punk is a piece of garbage. I'm like, well, let's not take it too far, but because to your mind, you're like he also abandoned UFC, and then he kind of talk trash on that, and then he comes back. So I think a lot of people were fooled, and there are a number of people out there that have worked with him directly, and kind of they say he's not the nicest guy. So but you could argue
I'm a nice guy,
and it doesn't matter when you draw money. They'll still take a stride chance with him.
Probably think Jericho's not that nice of a guy, but I guarantee you more people like Jericho than they do Punk, in the back.
Oh yeah.
So and don't
respected.
Supposedly Jericho said to him. Yeah. The respect.
Oh, and then speaking of that, go ahead, Dave. Go ahead and finish.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I was gonna say because it's still related to that with Matt Hardy and his wife. What she said about Punk.
What did she say?
Oh no, I know you put it on the topic. They weighed in on it, right?
Yeah. So Matt Hardy, I guess, on his podcast said something like he said, I witnessed it. I was there. The elite. They're the victims in this. And he said, I witnessed everything, or I witnessed it all. I love all three of those guys. I'm telling you that I'm from a first person perspective. I was there. I witnessed it all. I don't know why he said it like that, because people came back, oh, you were there, you saw it, and then he's like, my comments from this week's Matt Hardy pod have been misconstrued. I was not at the All Out 2022. I did not say I witnessed the events at all. I witnessed the entire process in real time over the months, and I stand by my comment.
That makes sense. I bet he did.
I buy that.
Meaning I was there backstage with it. Yeah,
but he feels the Elite were not in the wrong on that, like with what happened there.
They eventually called him out on his bullshit.
Rebby Hardy, she's like, because he said, how he said my comments were misconstrued, and she's like, mine weren't. Fuck CM Punk. That's what his wife said. Like that was her response.
Control your woman.
And she went into labor for their 9th kid.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then Punk went in there and punched her. No,
oh my god! I was talking about childbirth.
That's that's unfortunate though. I think a lot of people got duped, and he walked away with he's walking away with just a barrel of money.
Yeah. Even though they weirdly released.
I don't know if anybody got duped. I just think that like he's just on. He doesn't need money. I'm getting the.
I understand that.
And I think that when he came back, he was like, if one fucking thing doesn't go my way on this comeback, I'm just diva in it. And
because in the back of his mind, I need to get revenge for those 2 UFC losses. Like, I need to punch someone and show that I'm dominant and beat someone up. That's what happened. He was so mad. He's still mad about the UFC losses. That's what.
And he's made of glass now. So sorry. I'm sorry you break every bone in your body every match.
Didn't help the situation for sure.
That's honestly like what kind of, if you really think about it, like he knew he was injured, he knew something was wrong, and he just snapped that night. He's like, I'm injured again, I'm going to be out, like nothing left to lose, fucking just a broken kind of dude, and made a bad decision.
I still think they could have.
But he's also an asshole. Not to say like nice guy turn had a bad second and a bad moment. No, but
there's a bad man that had a bad moment.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
I mean, who are we? We're not making the millions that he's making, so fucking who cares what we think?
Yeah,
we just have our opinions. But I did want to bring that in. It's a year-old topic, but it's kind of related with the Bucks and all that stuff. Well, with Kenny Omega specifically, Randy Orton is better than Kenny Omega, and I actually agree with that sentiment.
Where did you got that from? Who started debating?
So it was from last year. Jim Ross said it last year. I think Kenny Omega is, he said Randy Orton is the best professional wrestler in the world.
I mean, you can't say his name without trying to do his voice. So.
Well, God damn it. But he
said
so
a year ago he said Randy Orton was the best in the world, and everyone jumped on board. Probably said no, Omega is.
No, he said that, and he said, don't get me wrong. He's like, I think because Kenny Omega was the champ. Let me see. I don't see anyone that is better. He said, so I don't see anyone.
What about your champion, JR? Where's your loyalty, JR?
Oh. So he said the whole thing about Randy Orton, and then he said, I'm sure there's Kenny Omega fans out there that would say Omega is the best wrestler in the world. Some will, and they have the right to their opinion. I'm not going to argue it. Omega is really freaking good. In any event, it's a good time to be a fan. A lot of great talent out there. Blah, 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 blah.
Close fist, expose the business.
Jericho came in. He's all, in my opinion, Kenny Omega is the best wrestler in the world. Others may feel differently, but I've been in the ring with everyone currently working on top, and there's nobody close. Jericho.
Oh. I thought you
said Omega jokingly said, "Meh, I'd rather believe that
I've been in the ring with the best wrestlers in the world, and I'll tell you right now."
I think it was because Omega was feuding with Jericho at the time. I don't know, but he said, "Meh, I'd rather believe the bigot, cuck, dimwit, E-drones, and the guy that thinks I'm the WWE champion." Because remember, Jim Ross called him the WWE champion.
Oh shit!
So Omega was pissed about that. But I actually think, that's why I put it.
I know.
Well, I guess they're a product. They're a product of this generation, though, which is they all think social media is real, and they just everything that's said on social media they feed off it, and it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate.
Well, look what happened. Well, I'm not even going to bring that. I don't even want to mention that guy's name.
Do you not think that Hulk Hogan heard all the haters when he was in his heyday, and he's like, I don't give a fuck what you think. Like,
now
because they're selling out arenas and doing everything. I don't give a fuck.
Oh,
and Hogan, everybody was like, Flair's better. Hogan's like, I don't give a shit what you say, like at all. Nobody cares.
I can't hear you with my soundproof room with all the dollars.
But now, like Omega and them live, Omega and the Young Bucks live in Twitter walls and social media walls, and they're like, "That's not true," and they have to fight. But don't say anything. Like, just wrestle, just goddamn wrestle,
or play.
Let your body of words
like Cordona. Every time someone talks shit, he tells them like, "Suck my dick" or something. Like Cordona, like doesn't
fuck off.
Fuck. He just
he doesn't give a shit.
He's just doing it all in kayfabe, and he's living his best life too. But like, you don't have to get all real about it on social media. Like, just play into the character and be an asshole, like MGF, MGF and those guys. They play it through.
And I wanted to bring up. I know it's a year old. I wanted to bring it in because I want to see because I actually agree with that, and not just agreeing with it because Jim Ross said Randy Orton is better than Kenny Omega, but I put like 4 points as to why that you could argue Randy Orton is better. And the first one,
I mean,
is
well,
the
can I
obvious
say as a
drawing power.
fan though, like as just my opinion,
Yeah,
I don't think there was ever a period where he was the best in the world. And I don't mean that to shit on Randy Orton. I love Randy Orton, and he's great. But I don't think there was ever a period where I remember me clamoring, going, "God damn!"
About this with Randy Orton and never having.
He's a great character. He's like Jake the Snake-esque, the way he just moves like super fluid in the ring, and Randy Orton is fantastic. I'm not suggesting he's not, but I don't know.
I think he is one of the best.
Are we? Yeah, and I agree with that statement. But I mean,
he's never been the best.
Was there ever a period where he was the best in the world? I mean, we're just fans, right? Like they're all equal in a sense.
I mean, when him and Cena were on top, maybe when him and Cena were the ones on top. I mean, where else were
maybe? Yeah, because there was really no number 2 promotion.
Everybody would say that,
and Randy Orton is better.
Cena that was the best, so it wasn't Orton.
Well, Cena was the top, the face, but it doesn't. I still think Randy Orton was the. I think Cena is great though. By the way, like
and I think Orton's great too. And maybe the answer is Jess. There was a year span or whatever where he was the best. I don't know, but I
think if you went from the points, I think drawing power. I think obviously that's the obvious one to get out of the way. Randy Orton
honestly, since they went public and everything, like I don't even know if there's such thing as drawing power. I mean, there will be people that get more popular than others. But I think WWE as a brand is just that they're a brand, and like I think
in a casual, like if we have to go by the casual. If you had to pick one guy to sell out, the biggest stadium, let's say Dallas, who's gonna sell it out more, Randy Orton or Kenny?
I wouldn't pick either of them.
In ring wrestling, I think Randy. Sure.
I think Randy's better in the ring just because.
But why would you pick either one? That's the whole point of the damn conversation.
Let me pose a question.
Yeah. I brought in.
Why is there even a discussion against Randy Orton and Omega?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I'm going based off of the comment that JR made.
I wouldn't pick Orton or him to be on top. I would pick Jericho, or I would pick. There's so many people. You can pick Stone Cold. You can pick so many people to sell at your arena before those guys. So I don't. I'm
only making a topic because of the context of Jim Ross.
To me, you're fighting over the best middleweight.
Part of that. That's all it is.
Yeah. To the defense of that statement, I think that was probably a clip from his podcast, right? Because
it was from his podcast. I don't know what.
To Jess's point about the drawing power, and it doesn't really matter as long as WWE is in control of the whole thing. Like, if you right now say, okay, for Mania, would you rather see Randy Orton and Roman Reigns, or Kenny Omega comes over? Could he sell out a dome?
I personally would like to see Omega and Roman, but
you would rather see.
I'm just going.
You'd rather see Randy and Roman than Kenny Omega and Roman Reigns.
What? No. I would rather see Kenny. I would rather see Kenny and Roman.
Yeah, Kenny
as
and
a fan.
Roman,
Yes,
but. I'm going by like if you weren't being biased, if you had to go.
That's what it's all about, though. You're talking about who's going to sell. That's total bias. I'm going to go buy this ticket because of who I like.
Well,
that's the whole
that's
point.
a fact, though. Randy Orton would. He would outsell.
I mean, he definitely has the bigger brand exposure. Like he's definitely been branded by the WWE.
And because you said the most known worldwide and globally, if you want to talk T-shirts and the most tickets sold and the most know who he is, Orton. Like just
and I think
by pure quantity.
That card to do so.
Yeah, I think you could even say in-ring wrestling, selling, and storytelling. He's better.
I guess career-wise, not now, spots. Right? I mean, we're talking now. Now we're on like career versus today, 2022.
And if you want to do an overall career retrospect, I guess you could say Randy Orton. Still.
Yep, I would still, of course.
I mean, he's been in there with everybody at this point.
Yeah,
sure.
But I just wanted to, I don't know, like if anyone thought different, that's why I put the 4 points there. Drawing power.
I don't know how many times, and I know it's abroad, but how many times has Omega been on top in a build arena, and how many times has Orton been on top? On top, main event. Kenny probably takes him out on that.
But you're talking about in smaller promotions, like
I know
at that point too.
But why was Orton on top? Period. In WWE.
Randy Orton's main event quite I can't even say quite a few.
Right,
he's been up for a while.
What's the record he broke? The longest appearances on Raw. Most appearances on Raw.
Matches on Raw. Yeah. I just felt like I said it was a comment made a year ago, and I agreed with it.
This was a total. This portion was a total internet community like argument. Like that's what people argue on the internet.
No, I mean,
it was fantasy.
But like I said, I took Jim Ross's comment, and then I instead of just being like, well, I think he's better, and then without anything, that's why I put the 4 points: drawing power, in-ring wrestling, selling, and storytelling.
Yeah.
Well, just 4 points to talk about. I mean, if anyone thinks different on any of the
Could
points,
Ric Flair beat Kenny Omega?
I mean, probably.
Discuss. In 1975. I turned it around.
Got you with that one.
Yeah.
Kenny wasn't even a nucleus yet.
I want to say there's another topic I'm missing this week. There's something else that happened I want to talk about. Fuck.
As far as in the week, I mean,
actually, by the way,
Jeff Jarrett,
we are recording this, so this is going to air on the weekend, but we're recording this the day before Crown Jewel, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. I actually wanted to get in on that too.
Yeah.
We were talking about Roman, Reigns and all of them earlier. The fans were chanting for. They were saying, "We want Sammy, we want Sammy," and then Roman grabbed the mic. He's all, "You know what?" He's all, "Because of the way you all been acting, you don't even deserve Sammy tonight." And like they start booing him. It was fucking great.
He's getting so good. He can take anything and spin it. Like Roman is just dialed in right now, without a doubt.
I think you could say he's the best in the world right now.
It's not.
I don't know.
Until Logan Paul beats him tomorrow.
Yeah, one punch, man.
You know what though, man?
One punch.
Those guys are pretty good, man. Well,
I honestly
they would never.
I hope that he drags
Logan
Paul all over the ring and he doesn't get nothing.
That would be so funny if they give it to
like. Love it. I would
love
that.
I do appreciate and respect though what they're doing, what they've done.
Because the Crown Prince would like. I'd like Logan Paul to win. Correct? Yes. He wants Logan Paul.
Yeah. I doubt that.
You see Paul going. That's not going to work for me, brother.
No, they gave the press conference today. They gave MBS like a belt. I don't trips and stuff.
And then Triple H is all Allah Akbar.
And then pedigreed him. That's not it. He did. He did.
Oh shit!
But Brock and Bobby Lashley
this is getting banned in Saudi Arabia.
To be something fun again.
Yes, that I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, having the big breakup on Raw.
Brock
they had to get the whole back down.
Damn.
To break them up.
Did they have them on the press conference? I don't even remember now.
Wait, what happened? What's up?
Brock and Lashley. Brock and Bobby.
Yeah, Brock and Lashley. They were tearing each
other. Oh yeah, I forgot that match to be good.
And
then almost
like, if they touch each other again, the match is off. I was like, oh, that was kind of cool.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait, Almost and who are fighting?
Almost and Braun Strowman.
Yeah, that's gonna be
it's gonna be a goddamn failure. It's gonna be so bad.
It's gonna be 5-star. Watch.
Wow.
I mean, he's making more money than he would. Like,
God,
why do I kind of feel like he's the first guy that's sort of being humbled by like the Triple H regime? Like Vince used to humble people. Like when they would go away from Vince, they come back. Vince is like, "That's cool, but you're gonna be a rooster or you're gonna wear a polka dot." Like this is in a weird way. I know he was just to change your own narrative. Indie, but you can only make so much money on the indie, and you have to work 30 times as hard on the indies to make all this money, and you gotta, like not everyone's like what Ryback does. Ryback just found his niche and is jumping on it. But like, I don't think
eating cereal on a podcast and making a ton of money. Like,
yeah, I don't think Braun is that creative, and I don't mean that to be a dick at all. Like,
pro wrestling.
But yeah, like, and then he's just doing the change your own narrative, and then when WWE's like, "Hey, you want to come back?" He's like, "Yeah, bye," and he just leaves everybody and goes. And then now he's still. I don't even remember that he's back. To be honest, he hasn't done anything of any relevance since being back. So like, good for him. He's making the WWE payday, and I'm happy for him that he can make a living. But I just, so far in church.
Can we talk about ladies body slamming dudes on the outside?
Oh, we're talking about
Ripley's fantastic.
Did you see that?
It's my that's my girl right there. You're talking about my girl. My girl.
And that was
the way the crowd reacted too. Every time she does anything, the crowd reacts huge.
That was like a 280-pound man, by the way. That was that's a big dude. Right? I mean, and she held him up there. He didn't really jump all that much, and she didn't
who did she slam actually?
It was
Doc,
right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like, and he's big and lanky too, so it's not easy. And she held him slowly, and then wham! And then she's like, "How was that?" And then she's talking shit to him. I was like,
That's a 6-man too, right? Crown Jewel. It's AJ and the Good Boys against
the Good Boys.
Dom, Priest, and Balor.
Unforgiven. Sorry. Oh, Dom's in it. Okay.
Look at that! Look at the turnaround Judgment Day made. Like, it's awesome. I love it.
Well, they're
my favorite factions right now.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward because they're going to milk this all the way till WrestleMania. That's why they separated Ray and put him on SmackDown. They separated. They're gonna be in the Rumble together at Mania or at a Royal Rumble, and they're gonna tease it again and get interest back in that feud, and then they're gonna go at Mania. They should definitely draw it out to Mania.
That'll be good.
Dom's gonna be so much better because not being around Ray and Ray can only do so much. Yeah. He's with other people. He's on his
own. By the way,
Ray's not even traveling with him.
The stuff between him and Rhea now when he says things and she's like, "Oh yeah, he does." I was like,
yeah.
Yeah,
he's actually progressing further now.
Yeah. Secret lovers.
He was just going to be Rey Mysterio's son. That's all he was going to be.
You had to pull him away from it.
And it's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. All the heat he gets too, like all the
that's why Rhea beat him up every week because she had a crush on him. That's what people do when they have crushes on people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say maybe Buddy Murphy would come in and join them, but obviously the House of Black have reappeared in their AEW.
Hey, the faction stuff is working well in WWE right now. So there's a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah.
There, so
Bloodline, Judgment Day. I mean, I'm hoping they give the OC a better run this time around since Vince is not there. Instead of doing that comedy stuff that they were doing backstage with Dana Brooke, where they were like doctors and stuff. Like, I can't.
I find it interesting though that like over half the people are from that club or there. They can't say fight. They can't say. Well, it's not Fight Club. What is the
Bullet Club?
Bullet Club. They can't say Bullet Club in WWE.
That was the other thing that we probably wanted to bring up that we didn't. Shinsuke and Muta.
Yeah, and Sheamus and Suzuki.
That's he fell for that. That's fucking great.
You're all. It was on text thread. Like, it's fake, Craig. I was like, damn.
It's so funny to me because I'm such an old school wrestling. Well, I'm an old school for my generation, but like, there's a lot of old school wrestling fans when I was growing up were the ones that watched like San Martino and all that stuff. So when I say that, I'm like, I guess I'm an old school wrestling fan now. But like, but to me, is it mind blowing that Shinsuke they let him go? Yeah, I mean, because you don't ever think that a WWE person would be able to do that and go, which is awesome. But I mean, still, to me, I'm like, it's saying goodbye to Muta. Like, he's one of my favorite wrestlers, and he caught all of our attention when he came in the United States in '89 in WCW or NWA, and had those great feud with Sting and Flair, and he was with Funk on JTEX and all that stuff. Like, great Muta, the undefeated television champion for a long time, and like, yeah, man, Muta's been one of my favorites for a long time, and everything that he's done in New Japan and All Japan, like he's been everywhere. Like, he's a legit legend. We were lucky enough to see him live, and that was really cool. Yeah. And so to say goodbye to Muta is awesome, and I think Shinsuke is super talented, and he's gonna. He respects Muta, obviously. Like, they have lineage together, so for him to be able to go over there and
with the time in Los Angeles with Muta is definitely a core memory for me. He was so nice, and I bought a shirt because it was Muta. I think I bought Jess a shirt, and I told the story before, but it was the best. I always bought a shirt because it was Muta, and we got to meet him, and he shook our hand, and Jess even I think Jess told him I think you're one of the greatest ever, and thanked him for everything he's done. And then Muta just looked at us and said, you want me sign? We're like, you're gonna sign the shirt? Like, hell yeah. Like, sign the shirt. He's like, you stretch. He said stretch the shirt. You stretch. So we stretched it. Good night, buddy. And he signed it, and then he's like, you want a picture? We're like, hell yeah, I want a picture. And then he would charge because we bought a shirt. He did all that with us, and he was like just so humble and nice, and took time with us.
It's funny because like if you were raised in Japan, he was like our Hogan or our Savage or Flair. Like, that's just what he was over there. So when he came over here and I started following him, I just think of all the American stars that we grew up with that he's been in there with. Everybody, Hogan, Flair, Sting. Like, he's been in there with everybody. Like, I don't know if many people he hasn't been in there with. And then we're seeing him in independent wrestling like 4 years ago, like in the United States, which is crazy. And he's been done so many different things, so many different metamorphoses, like the original face paint to Kenji Muto, which was his actual personality. Like, he wrestled as himself for a long time. And then now he does the mask with like the prosthetics on and everything. Like, his ring garb is amazing. I know there's going to be plenty of time because I don't think isn't Wrestle Kingdom when's his last match? It's like early next year, right? I think it's like early next year is when he actually retires.
Yeah,
but yeah, there'll be plenty of time. I'm sure I'll do something about Muta for us. But like, he's just the cool stuff he did. There's a famous clip where he had to wrestle. Unfortunately, he had to wrestle El Gigante in Japan. And he stunned him, and he brought in a chair and put it right in front of El Gigante, who was like selling and like woozy. And he stood up on the chair and spit mist right in his face. And it was the funniest fucking shit. Like,
that's
there's
great.
so many cool things that he did, and like, there's so many things that the great Muta. I definitely want to talk about him in the future.
It could be possible that you might actually see him next
Wrestle
week.
Kingdom. Oh, really?
SmackDown.
That'd be cool.
Because they just announced something right now. They just announced the World Cup starting next week on Fox on SmackDown.
Whoa.
That's kind of cool.
So,
crossover.
Yeah.
I mean, physically
say,
he's beat down or whatever, but like anytime I get a chance to see the Muda, he was on AEW a couple weeks ago with Sting. He came out to help Sting and whatever, which was awesome. Like to see them together. There was an unfortunate botch that didn't need to happen at the end of that match, but before that happened, it was really cool to see Sting and Muda in there together, and they took a picture in the back together. And a lot of people have been reposting on social media where they split them, where they had a picture in the late '80s and then the picture now, which was really awesome. So
I was still super
Sting has a
fascinated,
huge connection to Great Muda.
Jess in Los Angeles when we were there, like everybody, you could tell they were big time fans for that federation. For what was the name of the federation that we were seeing? In Los Angeles.
PCW is PCW.
Yeah, so PCW. So like they're world champions out there. Morrison was out there, by the way, and they were getting all the attention. And Muda was just chilling.
Penta was out there. He was the world champion.
Yeah, because he was the world champion at the time, right? So, and so at the end of that, it was like just freaking one of the greatest wrestlers ever. Just sitting there by himself. We got a chance to talk to him for a long time. So that's all I wanted to say. Shut it down.
I was gonna say, would it be? No, I was gonna say about that. Would it be out of the question? Is since he's on his tour and Shinsuke is facing him? I think it's January 23rd. Maybe he shows up at the Rumble, huh? June 28th.
Yeah, could
January
be.
28th.
Could be. And
part of his tour, a stop in his tour.
Shit.
Or
Maybe Shinsuke is his last match. I don't know. And then I don't think it's too far fetched to say that he'll probably be in the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, maybe he'll have a match at Mania as part of his tour.
All he's got to do is walk down to the ring and spit mist at this point, and people.
Everybody wins.
Imagine
they say USA.
It might be atrocious, but could you see them doing like Taker and Muda or something? Like
no,
it would be atrocious, and I would never want to see it.
Crazy.
What about like Randy Orton and Muda? Huh? No. The best wrestler in the world.
No.
Oh God! All right, this is
the best Mister in the world.
Yep.
We're all
best Mister versus the Viper.
We're all spent here.
It's been Unscripted, huh?
You're the best.